Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for participating. It is again one of the very grateful moments in our day or days that we have in retreat. It means we're activating our knowledge and understanding of the teachings of the great teacher Buddha Shakyamuni and Guru Pema and as well as all the lineage masters. That's what we are doing. So it's one of the beautiful moments. And thank you very much for all of you gathering and participating for this event. And we start, of course, with going to the teachings of the great master, meditation master, and Sada and scholar, the popular teaching. We're going to that. Before that, also I like to extend it the virtue practice of teaching from our newly able to completed this beautiful retreat center, Pema in southern Florida, is one of the really very long endeavors with hard work and so many dedicated Sangha members and friends. Everyone supported to actualize this wonderful place in southern Florida, and is absolutely dedicated to preserving the teaching of the gracious teacher Buddha Shakyamuni and Guru Pema lineage masters, and to also activating that realization, understand what we learned, to continue to come to the centuries. Really, we dedicated that. So all your help and assistance, whatever you did, today, we really bear the first fruit, and so thankful. This meritorious activity, what you help and support to come these stages, is so thankful and grateful. It is here. It will continually shine and benefit so many people throughout the generations. And our merit, we dedicated this for the teachings, to secure the teaching of the great teacher Buddha Shakyamuni and Guru Pema, and happiness, peace, and the well-being of all the living beings. In the Buddha teaching, say that even something, the beautiful monument we built with love and compassion, kindness, even is gone to the dust, but that dust also had great effect to remain and meritorious help to the other beings. So I can understand, in India, so many great monuments are now already almost gone, but so many devotees are going there, and the pilgrimage is inspiring and helping. So this is really what we can see, witness it, and I thankful you, all of you help and support it to everyone. Okay, thank you very much. And then today, again, as I said already, so this is, again, we're doing retreat of the teachings on the Patrul Rinpoche's teaching, Great Master Patrul Rinpoche. And so therefore, again, every practice is what we do as a practice of the lineage prayers. We do some lineage prayers, Vajrayana practices, and mandala offerings. And I believe you all have those in the computer or the iPad, what technology level you have electronically. And so please look to those things. We will follow with that practices. Okay. And before with that, we will do again just a short time silent meditation. Okay. Thank you again. Welcome everyone for participation. Thank you. Thank you.
of the Supreme Officer of Refuge, I pray to grant me immortal blessings of the Vidyadhara state, so that I may remain separable from you. Namaste Vajrayana Sankita Deva, Lord of the saints, secretly from our public Vishwamara, I pray to keep and shield me one post. In the past, you were Vidyadhara and Ling for yourself. In the future, you will be the Vajrayana. Now you are the region of Pansabha, the actual presence of Lord himself. Together we shall live to be Vajrayana. Have you filled content the rich mules of the three trains, with loving compassion seeing all beings as parents, with equal realization we make the doors three wages.
Virtues among Pema Suttam, to you I praise. The supreme tradition of the glorious Buddha Pema Sambhava, which is an essential extraordinary view in the doctrine of the 80 tasks of the schools. You keep alive in the spirit of the light of wisdoms. Lord of Dharma, great Khenpo, I pray to your lotus feet. To the palace of the Dharma Dhatu, in the essence of all the Buddhas of 3 times, a one who shows clearly Dharmakaya of my own mind. We praise the noble rulers. Glorious good teacher, precious one, develop on the lotus seat on the crown of my head. Hold me your 3 hands, bestow the accomplishment of the body, speak mind. Yom dende para dorje sambala sansa lo homage to the Tathagata, glory to Vajra Sadhu. Om Bendra Sadhu Samaya Manabalaya Imbendra Sadhu Deno Tijanero Mebava Isikayo Mebava Isikayo Mebava Anara Sarva Siddhi Mebaya Sarva Karma Sutta Meda Tamkiriya Om Ha Sarva Tangata Dharmami Manza Mendrabha Asamaya Sadhu Om Bendra Sadhu Samaya Manavaya Bendra Sadhu Deno Tishadedo Mebava Sukikayo Mebava Sukikayo Mebava Anarato Mebava Sarva Siddhi Mendaya Sarva Karma Samaya Tadakshya Guru Om Ha Ho Bhagavad Sarva Tangata Dharmami Manda Mendrabha Samaya Sadhu Om Bendra Sadhu Samaya Manaparaya Bendra Sadhu Deno Tishadedo Mebava Sukikayo Mebava Sukikayo Mebava Anarato Mebava Sarva Siddhi Mendaya Sarva Karma Samaya Tadakshya Guru Om Ha Ho Bhagavad Radha Mendramami Manda Mendrabhama Samaya Sadhu Om Bendra Sadhu Samaya Manabalaya Bendra Sadhu Teno Tishadedo Mebava Sukikayo Mebava Sukikayo Mebava Anarato Mebava Sarva Siddhi Mebrayata Sarva Karma Samaya Tadakshya Guru Om Ha Ho Bhagavad Sarvada Dhangada Mendramami Manda Mendrabhama Samaya Sadhu Om Bendra Sadhu Samaya Manabalaya Bendra Sadhu Teno Tishadedo Mebava Sukikayo Mebava Sukikayo Mebava Anarato Mebava Sarva Siddhi Mebrayata Sarva Karma Sutta Tamkiriya Guru Ha Ho Bhagavad Sarvada Dhangata Mendramami Mendrabhava Samaya Sadhu Om Bendra Sadhu Samaya Manabalaya Bendra Sadhu Teno Tishadedo Mebava Sukikayo Mebava Sukikayo Mebava Anarato Mebava Sarva Siddhi Mebrayata Sarva Karma Sutta Tamkiriya Guru Om Ha Ho Bhagavad Sarvada Dhangata Mendramami Mendrabhava Samaya Sadhu Om Bendra Sadhu Samaya Manabalaya Bendra Sadhu Teno Tishadedo Mebava Sukikayo Mebava Sukikayo Mebava Anarato Mebava Sarva Siddhi Mebrayata Sarva Karma Sutta Tamkiriya Guru Om Ha Ho Bhagavad Sarvada Tanga Bendra Mi Munda Bendra Bhavama Samaya Sado Om Bendra Sado Samaya Mana Balaya Bendra Sado Teno Tihando Me Bava is Tuikayo Me Bava is Tuichayo Me Bava Anarado Me Bava Sarva Siddhi Me Brayada Sarva Karma Sudha Me Shriya Guru Hong Ha O Bhaga Sarvada Tanga Bendra Mi Manda Bendra Bhavama Samaya Sado Om Bendra Sado Samaya Mana Balaya Bendra Sado Tena Lido Me Bava is Kayo Me Bava is Chayo Me Bava Anarado Me Bava Sarva Siddhi Me Brayada Sarva Karma Sudha Me Shriya Guru Hong Ha O Bhaga Sarvada Tanga Bendra Mi Manda Bendra Bhavama Samaya Sado Om Bendra Sado Samaya Mana Balaya Bendra Sado Teno Tihando Me Bava is Kayo Me Bava is Chayo Me Bava Anarado Me Bava Sarva Siddhi Me Brayada Sarva Karma Sutta Me Shriya Guru Hong Ha O Bhaga Sarvada Tanga Bendra Mi Manda Bendra Bhavama Samaya Sado Om Bendra Sado Me 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 Om Bendra Sado Me 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 Sado Om Bendra Sado Me 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 Sado Om Bendra Sado Me Sado Me Sado Me Sado Me Sado Me Sado Me Sado Om Bendra Sado Me Sado Me Sado Me Sado Me Sado Me Sado Me Sado Om Bendra Sado Me 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 Sado Om Bendra Sado Me Sado Me Sado Me Sado Me Sado Me Sado Me Sado Om Bendra Sado Me 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 Om Bendra Sado Me 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 Om Bendra Sado Me 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 Om Bendra Sado Me 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 Sado Om Bendra Sado Me 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 Om Bendra Sado Me 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 Om Bendra Sado Me Om Bendra Sado Hingivande Nyarda Da Durje Samban Rubjirane Roa Jeke Malip Yesalango Baraisho. And we again continue, okay? Continue. Mandala offering and then of course the teaching. So ye be so je me do da re ra ling ye nye de jem ba inde so in je jen de me de bro ye do ga nam da jen la jo bara jo edam goro rena mendal kenriya da ya me simje nam je samba den lo ye sebra jedra chejo to moya to ba ye juje goro goro do. So back to English. The earth is with the galulum you go to the budget make the good father may loyal may according to which right there, Jingrajam says, the garden Zumba may better Jinkolum Jijaj for the Jizavala Maja Lagos on Kipachi Megon, San Judo Jesun, Sinjela, the Gajis on Yukana, Yung Pasana. Vajadan is in the Ladam, and brother Jill of the don't go to Jija, in Jemma of Dijabun. Sarchel Boda or Jevago, Heja Gajer, who you lost them that who were Jim Soling, Medumbola, Hejaran,
Sherab Nawarab Jebe, Quenji Yala Soro and the Yonde Sanje Kandanyana Yang, Kati Sanje Kone Logwan. Savala Me Yala Sorvande, the Sondo Lona Chula, Nelu Tokwa Jevra Sunji, Lo Tokwe, the Jutrua thing, to Jay Jutrua thing, that say, don't take them much. Gypsy Messenger, Loyal Chuzon, the water of Sanjilo, Chilamdon, the water of Sanjilo, Lantrova, the water of Sanjil. Tani Javra Sanjil of the Zoro, on the subject of Injecting, the kill Homer, Jurba cancer. Tender Tombe Chuye, Chanbije, Sambrandova, Tamji, Darne, like a Laden of Jigger, Rum Daddy, cannot. Roakunja Dana, Chatsamba, Tamjiga, the dog, Chudin, the Hurricane, Chijin, Narson, Javra Jila. Siminam Jet on the Dungeon, Yatavana Jen, and the other dos, Usajanam Jet on the Dungeon, Yatavanam Jen, and the other dos. Siminam Jet on the Dungeon, Tamanam Jen, and the other dos, or Javakunja, Tambe, Chudin, Sanjoba, and the Navras, Zamojava, Nabra, Juan, Mount Carpa, and the Javara, Josum Jorambo, Majipana, Jira. Jibanyamba Meva, Kone Konde Mevara Ishu. Okay, again, thank you very much, everyone. Again, as I already said, I welcome everyone and thank you very much for participating again. And this is again one of the very really meaningful of our time together. We're discussing the teaching of the greatest teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni, that which passed down through Guru Pema Sambhava, all the lineage masters. Therefore, it is one of the very beautiful moments in our life. In our life, we have so many activities. We are always busy, very busy. We always so many different things to do, all varieties. But a reflecting of the teaching, which means a reflecting of the loving kindness, the compassion, true nature, and thinking of kind of all the beings that like to benefit to everyone, kind of reaching that attitude in having in heart, having that is something really special, unique. And we also know that it's not just Buddha teaching said that, lineage master said that.
It's true. When we have the kindness and compassion and love, bodhicitta thought in our heart, we feel more relaxed. Not feel, we are truly relaxed, more calm, more peaceful, more happy, more contento, truly. And we not have that, opposite of that, we also know what we feel. And this is what practice the Dharma means. We're cultivating our own true nature, our own inherent nature, that we maybe be been ignored due to the different reasons, or maybe not knowing. But today, or when we practice it, we're touching back. We're going touching our best. We returning to our home, sweet home, the true own beings, that which is been with us for so long, all the time in the Buddha teaching, from the beginner's time until now. And we're reactivating that. And therefore, it is really so beautiful, so special. And we can going to combine that with the bodhicitta. For those reasons, in the teaching always said, to correct the motivation. Correct the motivation. Means the motivation is so important. Who is really practicing Dharma? And we like to become the Dharma practice something meaningful, more kind of on the direct. We like to add one thing on the Dharma practices. We have to, all of us, correct the motivation. Not just too much with the physical, not too much verbal, but we have to correct it with our mind. Mind. That's what the gracious teacher Buddha Shakyamuni said in the teaching. Tame your own mind. This is my teaching. That's what Buddha said. Buddha gave the teaching, as we all know, from the age 35 onward, age 81 or 80, according to different masters. So that means over 45 years, Buddha continually gave the teaching. Those all teachings, nothing but, if we summarize, is to make our mind better. Tame our mind. What that actually means, tame the mind. Present time, our mind is carried, forced, and carried by our old habitual patterns, unhealthy habitual patterns, which is anger, jealous, hatred thought, attachment, ignorance, doubt and hesitation, and the combination of all that. That's what really, virtually, we spend our time, precious time, with that attitude. So something is really missing from the deep of our heart, not on the surface. Surface is fine, beautiful, nice, everything. Following the season, of course, occasionally because of the so many kind of natural disasters, nature is also become unbalanced, become very, very kind of unstable, because according to the teaching of the gracious teacher, Guru Pema Sambhava, is by the power of our mind. When our human mentality becomes unbalanced and shaky, irregularity, that reflects to the nature elements. Water, fire, wind, earth, all that. So we are more kind of in a turbulent status. Therefore, to bring the good things to ourselves, to the others, is correct motivation is so important. And this time, correct motivation, what we do. There's nothing we have to do. Big things that we don't have, that we all know. Bring more joy, more appreciation, more thankful. What we have, what we surrounded. In the Buddha teaching, of course, you know, I'm just reminding that. I'm not talking something that you don't know. We all know this intellectually. But our life is precious. How many times we think thankful to our beautiful lives? Our situation and circumstances are quite good. to compare it with the percentage, if we say 100%, maybe 67% are quite good. We should be thankful, grateful. Use that as stepping stones to transform what is not good. Really, that is the skillful means, the way to do that. And so therefore, more grateful, thankful. And then in the Buddha teachings, being born as human being is so precious. And not just only that, also having that meeting the Dharma is so important, so precious. Again, Dharma means what? Discovering the value and the importance of loving kindness, compassion, and non-attachment, no detachment. Discovering. That is so important. Again, this is not something strange, new things. It's we all have that. We have love, we have compassion. We have also knowledge and intellectually some knowledge of the non-detachment or openness, balance. Balance we have. If we bring activate, those are the central corner or the foundation of Dharma. Dharma is not something kind of strange or anything different. It's really value and importance of our true natures. Above that, then combine that joy and appreciation as a gracious teacher Buddha Shakyamuni so many times. The Bodhisattva, mind of enlightenment, love and compassion. We have love, we have compassion. And our love and compassion are limited, restricted. Bodhisattva means breaking boundaries of their restrictions, merging our love and compassion to all the living beings, to everyone. Extend that, having that imagination, truly open that heart. That is Bodhisattva. And with wisdom, understand or knowledge. Bodhisattva. And even when we practice and meditate, really we sincerely may this benefit for all living beings. Bring them joy, peace, happiness, world peace. All the beings of 6 realms have become peaceful and realize their innate true natures. Or realize of the Dzogchen nature. Everybody may they realize Dzogchen nature. Those are looks like so simple, but it is so powerful. According to the teaching, we know that too ourselves. If we have that genuine thought of that heart feeling from our deep of heart, really we feel more calm and peaceful. Even we have those thoughts for few seconds or 1 minute or 2 minutes, we are winning, we are developing, we are progressing. Truly, that's how the path and the booming moves forward or advancing. That is Bodhisattva, thinking of all beings. And we all know, we all receive so many teachings from the great masters and read the books. Now is time to practice those, not just leave that intellectually on the brain, but bring down to the heart, activating that with the body or physically and verbally, mentally. Those tools you all know, and how to activate it. Those are poor boundless practice. Or in a Tibetan word. Those are really so, that's the four boundless translated, or four immeasurables. With that thought, and then, according to Vajrayana teaching, or in the ultimate teaching of the Buddha, everything is in enlightened status. This is also not dogma. This is not just a making up things. As soon as we purify our duality conceptions, that moment, heaven is right here. Heaven is right here, Buddha is right here, Bodhisattva is right here, according to teaching. The moment as much as we start purifying our duality, habit patterns, that much things become more brighter, lighter, enlightening,
and light the whole universe and world, including our own physical, will become known as enlightened. Enlightenment, according to the teaching, ultimate teaching, is not coming from somewhere else. It's not coming from the far away, from other planets, other places. Enlightenment is right with us. Only we have to discover. How we discover? That's what we follow the teaching. The greatest teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni, discovered. He shared as exactly his manual and instruction and the tips how to explore. That is following the teaching. When you follow the teaching, then we're known as following the path. Path and bhumis. We heard many times path and bhumis in Buddhism. 5 paths, 10 bhumis. This is not outside. It advancing of our own mind, how the nature. Mind is how developing. That means how we are purifying our negativity, the habit pattern, that something is really disturbing us. And the ego clingings, when we cleaning and the ego clingings and habit pattern, when this going away, we are advancing. We are in a path. Path. P-A-T-H, I believe, path. We are path, returning. How to maintain that path? In the teaching said, with courage and commitment and determinations, joyful efforts. When you have that, there is no return. We are continually advancing. When we don't have courage and commitment, determination, joy and a joyful endeavor for the virtues or dharmas, then we are weak. Weak. The habit pattern is taking over us. The old habit patterns taking over us. Those are known as obstacles or the demons. Even we feel quite good for a moment, but we're not really gaining. That means we're going to stay in the samsara. Just to stay for samsara for uncertain times. But if we have courage and commitment, joy and devotion, bodhicitta to that, truly by advancing, we are what in the teaching said, we will reach to non-returning. And what great masters many times said, goodbye to the samsara. Going to say goodbye to the samsara. This goodbye to the samsara is not something that we leave in the land. With reality, we're saying goodbye to the habit patterns. Saying goodbye to the ego clingings. Goodbye to the anger, jealous, hatred thoughts. That's what it really is. So therefore, have those all this when you have, and even we don't have the realization, immediately seeing everything as a divine mandala or the enlightened status, but in the teaching already said, see as everything as a 3 Vajra states. Vajra forms, Vajra sound, Vajra mind. Those teaching. We all know, heard. All 5 perfect places, perfect teacher, perfect written, perfect teaching, and perfect times. 5 perfect status. Those all kind of see. The reality, they are like that status. So we are at least opening that door, not kind of doubt and hesitation, cover everything and stay in the dark corner and eyes in the dark corner all the time. That is samsara. That is samsara in this world. We stayed this long. All the time we've been in this status. But to just kind of reverse that is what the really time of the practices. This. And with those understanding, and now we go to these teachings again. Teaching, as I said, it was not just I said, this is the teaching of the great Mahasiddha, great scholar, and yet so humble and simple, drawn to the ground, drawn to the earth, and wandering with his own feet, different hermitages, and teaching on the bodhicitta, loving kindness, compassion, and great, and activated that with wisdoms. This is the great master commonly known as Patrul Rinpoche, you all know. And his full name is Orji Jingmi Chuchi Bangpo. He was one of the great masters in the 19th century, I think. 19th century. It's true. So I'm going to talk briefly about his life story. Even though you all maybe know, and some people maybe you don't know, but I'm going to talk very briefly about his. As I said, he was born, as it came, this great master, in the, I think, 19th century. And he was born 1808. 1808, he entered Mahaparinirvana 1887. He stayed about 80 years, his lifespan. As I said, he was one of the great really masters. He was born in a very beautiful family in the Eastern Tibet. Eastern Tibet practitioners, and born as with very distinctive kind of beautiful feature, beautiful facial and smart and clear looking born. And soon after, one of the areas, or famous known as Dorab Jingmi Karzeng Lama, well-known Lama, he recognized this boy, young boy, as former Parge or Patrul Rinpoche, former Patrul Rinpoche. And his name was Parge something Ponso in Tibet. I mean, of course, it's Tibetan, his name is Parge something Ponso. He was, again, I heard, and in teachings, not just I heard, in the life story said, he was very good practitioners. Very, again, humble and simple and hermitage. He's practicing all the time, and particularly he is practitioner of the Manjushri. And in Manjushri, there is a very famous tantra known as Manjushri Namasangatita. Namasangit. Namasangit is Sanskrit, in the Tibet called Jampar Semju, or Jampar Jumpra Trava. And English is also translated into English. I think it is net of the illusion of the name of the Manjushri. I think that's just roughly I'm translating, it's not exactly translation. So this Tantra is very famous. Many great masters wrote commentary. This is the Buddha taught to who? Buddha taught to the Vajrayana. Vajrayana records to Buddha, and Buddha gives this teaching. This Tantra teaching. It's a very famous Tantra teaching. It's the names of the Manjushri, but it has all the meanings of the Tantras. Very famous. It's inner Tantra. Guru Pema Samba wrote commentary on this. Bhaman Mitra wrote in a commentary on this, and Lalita Bajam, so many great masters in India, wrote commentary on this Tantra. On this Tantra. It's very famous Tantra. And in Tibet, many of those practitioners, ordained practitioners, and the lay practitioners, they chant this. They memorize that, and they chant. For example, even my uncle, he chanted that all the time, this. Who was, of course, passed away a long time, but he chanted. He's a lay person, but he chants. So it's very, but this part is something, so the former lives of the Patrul Rinpoche, in current teaching, he recited this Manjushri Namasangati Sutra, Tantra, over 100,000 times. He recited whole life practice. And then he started carving and organized and carving mani stones, what commonly known as mani stone, but is teaching of the Buddhas, carving on Guru Pema Samba teaching on the stone. That is very popular throughout the Tibet. They carve that and leave that in a nice area so the devotees can circumambulate. That's very popular. So he built also that. Then he passed away. So then the Patrul Rinpoche, young Patrul, was recognized as a reincarnation of this very special Lama. And his name is Parge something. So therefore, this young named Patrul Rinpoche. So Trul means Truko. And Rinpoche is the honorific word these days. But Patrul, so means Truko of the Parge something. Something. So that's it. When this Lama, Dorab Karsan recognized, he mentioned to his teacher, Dorab, famous Dorab, Do Tripchi, Jingmim Tleoza, who was the one of the important disciple, or one of the hard disciple, not just important, hard disciple of Jingmi Lungpa. Dorab Jingmi Tleoza is also according to his story, he was first Dorab, and then there is a continuation of Dorabs now, reincarnation one, and now there is still one of the great masters, Do Tripchi Rinpoche, we call Do Tripchi Rinpoche, still living. He is one of the now really senior great masters who still alive at his age is quite maybe approaching in the 90s. So his Dorab Jingmin Trele, he told this Lama said, I recognize him. He said, oh, that's really good. I thought too, and I thought he was going to held the entirely Nyingtek teaching that which transpassed by the great master Jingmi Lungpa. He was going to hold that. I'm going to entrust all of that to him. He said, so this young boy was renowned. I mean, that way they glorified. Since he was recognized as a Parges, reincarnation of Parge Ponso, something Ponso, and that hermitage or that monastery, they then enthroned him as a Lama of their monasteries. So now that's the Parge. But then he received so many teachings from all the great masters, one after another received, and particularly he contracted with the one of the foremost, again, disciple of the Jingmi Lungpa, known as Jingmi Jabrum Nyugo. Jingmi Jabrum Nyugo, he received teachings, so many teachings, and particularly he received the teaching, particularly introduced the nature of the mind or the Dzogchen teaching from this Jingmi Jabrum Nyugo. Jingmi Jabrum Nyugo is, again, one of the foremost disciples of the Jingmi Lungpa, and according to the teaching or the prophecy, he stayed all the time in the mountain hermitage, and an area called Zatamam, and he stayed there so many years. Local people used to call Masada of the Zatama mountain. So this is the Patrul Rinpoche. This Lama became the root teacher of the Patrul Rinpoche, and he received all the teachings, so many teachings, and particularly he received the Hundo teaching over 25 times. Patrul Rinpoche received over Hundo teaching over 25 times. He practiced the completed Hundo practice also over 25 times as he received his teaching. So that shows how he was so endeavored, joyful effort, courage to really practice. And once that one who enthroned throned in the monastery, that person who enthroned him, he passed away. After he passed away, he offered all the monastery things to the local monasteries, and then he left as hermitage and everywhere and received teaching, giving teaching. And Patrul Rinpoche became one of the great masters. He gave the teachings on the Goyanga Tantra, and then as well as all the Nyingma Dosa Tantra teachings and Lungchen Nyingtai teachings, and as well as then most of the time he gave the Bodhicharya Avatar, Shanti Deva's teaching. And for that reason, many times Shanti Deva's teaching become so popular. Since Patrul Rinpoche activated that, of course it's already very popular, but then this is really very popular. Shanti Deva's teaching so popular, he started giving that teaching everywhere, and together with the practice of the Amitabha. That Raga Akse, famous master Raga Akse, the Amitabha prayer, Demu. demo that he really organized so many areas, villages, he goes and organized or he gave the teaching of the Amitabha and as well as practice on Amitabha, and the whole area in the teachings of the Eastern Tibet at that time, so many areas are completely stopped the eating, become vegetarians and stop the huntings, and as well as also anything that disturbed the animals. He stopped those things in teaching all the time in the Bodhisattva Charya Avatara or the Chonjo or guide to the lives, where in the lives of the Bodhisattvas, that's what really this great master did. And everywhere. And so this, the Shantideva's teaching is become so popular, even His Holiness now, Dalai Lama, I heard that he traced back his lineage to the Patrul Rinpoche of the Chonjo, the Shantideva's teaching. Chonjo, or the guide to the way lives of the Bodhisattva, traced back to the Patrul Rinpoche, his lineage, because he received this teaching. I heard, of course, that is just, I heard that he received this teaching, the lineage teaching, Chonjo teaching, from Khunu Rinpoche. Khunu Rinpoche is very famous, again a hermitage, humble, simple, really just like ordinary monk, but yet he became the teacher of all the great masters in these latter 20th centuries. Really, even though his only Dalai Lama contract many times, received teaching from him. So he stays in just a very simple life, in small rooms, in just really like, and so that's what Khunu Rinpoche. But I heard that he received the teaching, Chonjo teaching, or the Shantideva's teaching, according the lineage of the Patrul Rinpoche to offer to His Holy Dalai Lama. So His Holy Dalai Lama gives that. That's what I heard. But anyway, Shantideva's teaching becomes so popular, and that's the master Patrul Rinpoche. And he gives the Dzogchen teaching. So many devoted, so many practitioners become, or so many great scholars receive this Shantideva's teaching or the Dzogchen teaching. And for example, one of those examples, Yangbu Mohan Rinpoche. Mohan Rinpoche was also a student of the Patrul Rinpoche too. So this is so many other, and many those reincarnation of those Tripchins, as well as many other really masters, they become his students. So this is and then he entered Mahaparinirvana. Later on his lives, he kind of he continued to the carving the Mani stones, organized the Mani stone to in that one area in Eastern Tibet. I never been, but the area he created, because all those like hunters and the beggars and everyone there, he said, so stop doing those and carve the Mani stone, and whatever offering comes, gift comes to him, he shared that to everyone. He gave that to all these people. And so that is sorry. This is what the Master Patrul Rinpoche. And then I will tell one story, I forget to tell. When he received the teachings, and receiving the teaching from his root teacher, Zatama Tripchim, about teachings, his practice, he received the teaching on pointing out the nature of the mind. So he recognized the nature of the mind, and he's meditating all the. Around that time, when he was young, that time there is very famous. I'm sure you all know Dongyal Yishi Dorje, very famous yogi, crazy wisdom yogi, and who was a reincarnation of the Jingmi Lungpa. Jingmi Lungpa is very renowned, very famous master. So he is very kind of wild and crazy wisdom. So Patrul Rinpoche was close, went to see him. He was close and nearby him. Dongyal asked, "If you have the courage, come to me," he told. "If you have the courage." So Patrul Rinpoche went to him. And when he went there, what he did, Dongyal immediately grabbed his hair. So we must have let hair. To grabbed it and throw that on the ground. Now he's pulling him and holding his hair and pulling from the ground. And that moment, Patrul Rinpoche smells the alcohol. And he thought, wow, even this great master felt drunk. Great teacher Buddha said, don't drink the alcohol. Said, even this great master is now drunk, he is drunk. He had that thought. That conceptual thought in his mind came. And that moment, Dzogchen Dorje said, you, the intellectual people, has all the conceptions. What kind of you are? He dropped him, now pulling the hair dropped. He split him. Split on him, said, the old dog you old dog, your intellectual people have all these conceptions. So then he left. When he left, he thought, wow, this is really something so strong. I think he's introducing me the nature of the mind. He got up immediately, started meditating. And that moment in the teaching, he said himself, his root teacher introduced the nature of the mind as like dawn came in his mind. Dawn. But don't change it. When he did that and meditated, now not just a dawn, the sunlight came in his mind. So often you say, call Patrul himself, he said, don't change the wild change. Give me the secret name, and this old dog is my secret name. Secret name he used quite often in the teaching. When he give the teaching colophon, he write, I old dog wrote. Really this. So this is what this great master said. And then he entered Mahaparinirvana, very simply, beautiful. There's nothing else left, anything that really so many things, just simple. He will enter Mahaparinirvana around age 8 in the 1887. He entered Mahaparinirvana. So this is the life story of this great master, and his students are continually until now, and everyone is keeping up his lineage. We all connected to him because his teaching is so powerful, so directed, powerful, and it really goes to the heart of the practitioners in the heart. Really goes. It's just his power. The word is so strong, and so this is what the great master is. And today we are following his teachings. So that is my brief story of life story of the great master Patrul Rinpoche. And now we go to the teaching. Teaching itself can be divided into 3 groups according to Tibetan Buddhism. And those are the title, teaching, and the colophons. Teaching itself, a principal part of the teaching, and the colophons. So the first it is title, and the second is the then principal part of the teachings, and the third is the colophons. Those are in that contrast. Then we go, and then of course there is also some subdivisions within the teaching. Main teaching, there is subdivisions. Then we go as much as I can and share you, and then of course you can go look through this text too. Now we are in page 13. In the Tibetan word, what I say, of course, is not have no transliterations. So, but Ramji Dzogpa Chimbu Don Nyamso Lempra Damba, and which translated Pith instructions on how to practice the meaning of the Dzogchen, the great perfection of the ultimate nature. So that is the title. This title is generally, always every great master says, title is not just a title, but it captures the essence of the entire teachings. So that in that way, I mean, it is really what we're going to discuss this time is teachings on the Dzogchen. That is. So now we talk about the Dzogchen a little bit. But we talk about how Dzogchen came Even though you all know is taught by Buddhas. Buddha, but we again is a part of the lineage teaching. We always trace back to every teachings of the Buddhism to the Buddha Shakyamuni. Buddha Shakyamuni is our teacher, our grace teacher, kindness teacher, compassionate teacher, a very sensible teacher, and a very wise teacher, really, he was. And also very humble, simple teacher when we read his teachings and the kanjurs, or those in the teaching, and what the great masters mentioned about the Buddha. So in every aspect, he stayed with the nature. He taught the nature, he stayed with the nature, that was he practiced the nature. He gave the ultimate state the nature can offer. That's what the great teacher is. Buddha Shakyamuni came in 2000, about 600 years ago, according. There are so many different chronology systems. Some say more than that. And now kind of standard level, everyone agree that this time, so we follow with that. So 2000, about 600 years ago, he came. He came in the North India. And he born as a princess, of course, you know. And he left the kingdom age 29, and age 35, he became the Buddha, or reached enlightenment. What means become Buddha? He discovered the true nature of the mind. As he taught in the teaching, he discovered nature of the mind. This nature of the mind, we all have the nature of the mind. According to Buddha, great teacher said, everyone has the same nature that I have. I have nothing extra nature than you all, he said. So, as he has, he practiced, he followed this instruction as he's taught in the teaching. That's what he practiced. And then he discovered. Where he discovered, of course, you know, remove all the negativities. Purified. Where remove the negativities? Not piling up those negativities somewhere as like garbage or dumps somewhere. But it's just purified within his own nature state. Clear away. And discover nature. Exactly as it is. When he discovered the nature, what is called, known as, he had the perfect wisdoms, perfect compassions, perfect abilities. In Tibet, and the teaching said in Tibet, Chimba, Tsewang, Niba, all that he has. Why he had that? Because he removed the obstacles of those is an ego clinging, attachment, grasping, clinging. That he completely removed. Therefore, then ultimate nature, the building nature of the sunlight shines without any hindrance, obstacles. Since that discovering of that loving kindness and compassion, wisdom, then his compassion, love, caring thought for all living beings is unfading, or has no gaining and losing. Completely filled with love and compassion and wisdoms. Then he shared all the living beings teaching. This teaching is not just a teaching for the human beings or selected groups. Teaching this is for all living beings. Because everyone has the same nature. Every day apply this technique as the Buddha taught, is nature too. It's nothing strange. As I said earlier, you know. It's teaching of loving kindness, compassion, non-attachment, non-grasping, openness, clarity. We applied. The enlightenment is everyone's heart waiting to come out. No one is leg or the out of the enlightenment, call it. So Buddha gave the teachings. He gave the teaching 45 years, as I said, roughly. Those teachings, he gave teachings according to the capability. That means readiness of individuals. Buddha never forced. Buddha never imposed. Buddha never kind of pushed. According to readiness of individuals, Buddha gave that teaching. So therefore, there is all different levels of teachings. Teachings, those are known as then 84,000 teachings of the Buddhas. Those all. That we summarize those, and then 12 excellent teachings. If we summarize those, then 3 basket teachings. All Sutra teaching and Tantra teachings. Tantra teachings. What are the essence of those teachings? All teachings on the morality, teachings on the concentration, teachings on the wisdoms. And those are known as Labasam in Tibet. 3 extraordinary trainings. Morality, concentrations, and wisdoms. Or Shila, Dhyan, and Panja. Those are the 3 trainings. The entire teaching of the Buddha, 84,000 teachings, all the 12 excellent teachings, all in the different systems. So in the Nyingma schools of Tibetan Buddhism, they said 9 yanas teaching. And we summarize what is those meanings, essence meanings, is 3 that extraordinary trainings. Teachings on the morality, teachings on the conduct, ethics, teachings on the concentration, meditation, teachings on the wisdom. What means wisdoms generally? Again, maybe you know the morality and ethics, but wisdom what means? Wisdom that has no grasping. Or wisdom means, in this case, great emptiness. Dzogchen teaching, or absolute teaching. That is what all these teachings. It was all in that status. So, in that way, this Dzogchen teaching is the ultimate teachings of the great teacher Buddha Shakyamuni gave. Ultimate teaching. There is nothing higher, better, more fast, or more better teaching than this. More fast means what? In order to reach enlightenment, there is nothing more fast than Dzogchen teachings. What in the teaching said? Long way, short way, quick ways. There is 3 approach teachings. Long way teaching is a Sutra Mahayana teachings. Sutra teaching. Why is it long way? Because it takes 3, according to teaching, 3 countless eons. Those very high capability persons. Eons. And what to do that time? 3 countless eons, you accumulated 2 merits. Accumulation merit, wisdom merit. Sotni in the Tibetan world. To accumulating 2 merit for 3 countless eons. And how? What attitude? Attitude is same. Joy, devotion, determinations, courage, commitment of the bodhicitta. Keeping that and doing the practices, doing the good deeds in the context of the 6 paramatas. 6 paramatas. Accumulated 2 merits. Accumulation merit that you will do with physically, verbally, mentally activity, and wisdom merit beyond the conceptions, beyond the grasping, clinging. That is known as wisdom merits. Accumulate the 2 merits. Then reaching enlightenment. And for that reason, in some practice lineage named as a long way to reach enlightenment. So long way. And the short way to reach enlightenment is the Tantra teachings. Out of Tantra teaching and as well as inner Tantra teachings. And that is said, for example, according to the Nyingma schools, 3 outer Tantra, Kriya Tantra, Upa Tantra, Yoga Tantra, and as well as the Mahayoga Tantra, Anu Yoga Tantra is put in category of the short, Nyam, a short way to get enlightenment. And for example, Mahayoga teachings, Anu Yoga teachings, within this life or in the next lives you can reach, or this life, or if not, at the moment of the death, or in the right after the death, if you're quite good practitioners, according to the teacher, you can reach. So it is short way. And as well as the outer Tantra, maybe 3 lifetimes, 5 lifetimes, 7 lifetimes, you can reach enlightenment according to the teachings. That means you're also continually keeping up the practice, maintaining all that which means really maintaining of the morality, maintaining of the concentration, maintaining of the Western practices. But Dzogchen is not. Dzogchen is what? Among 3, Dzogchen is Nyulam in Tibet, means quickest way to reach enlightenment. Quickest way to reach enlightenment. Quickest way to reach enlightenment is, and for example, according to the teaching, again, the highly capable practitioners can reach the enlightenment instantly, moment you receive the teaching, moment you recognize, and you're completely free from the negativities or duality, you reach enlightenment. Those are in the teaching named like Garab Dorji, is highly capable. He instantly reached enlightenment. In Tibet, for example, names like Pangi Mohang Gombo, Vajrayana's foremost student, the old man, according to the teaching. He was old. He cannot keep the positions, postures. He can't see the eye so clearly. He can't hold up his necks to as meditation postures. But the moment he saw the Vajrayana, he received the teaching, he got enlightened. So what in the teaching is said? Well, you're sitting down, you may be sentient beings, but when you get up from the cushion, you are fully awake at once. That is the Garab Dorji and the Pangi Mohangam and so forth. So fast reach enlightenment. Really. And then, even you didn't reach enlightenment in that fast, Dzogchen teaching, we put in with courage and commitment and practice according to the teaching, can reach enlightenment. So many of those great masters really reach enlightenment in 7 years. 7 years, 12 years. 12 years they practice the meditative, reach enlightenment, such as then Gypsy Senge Wamsos. He reached not just reach enlightenment, rainbow body, Yeshin Soja, Gypsy Senge Wamsos, Long Chin Pass, Jingbi Long Pass, and all those are great practice, highly capable practitioners, and they really reach enlightenment. So therefore, Dzogchen is so fast teachings. And therefore he said, there's nothing higher, better, simple, and a direct teaching than the Dzogchen. And some teaching said, the who taught this Dzogchen teaching? Buddha Shakyamuni transformed or came in the form of the Buddha Samanthabhadra and gave this Dzogchen teaching. So there is nothing higher, better Buddha than the Buddha Samanthabhadra, and nothing higher than the teaching of the Dzogchen. So this is what the really Dzogchen is. So this Dzogchen is as taught by the great master, Buddha, great gracious teacher, master, the Buddha Shakyamuni, not on the human world, but he gave this teaching on the celestial realms. How he gave this teaching? Teaching beyond the world, beyond the labels. From the mind to mind transmission lineages, he gave these teachings. As he gives these teachings, and according to the teaching, Vajrayana received all that teaching. The Sambhogakaya Buddha, Vajrayana teaching. And the Sambhogakaya Buddha, Vajrayana gave this teaching to the Garab Dorji. So what Buddha gave, already in the celestial realm, Garab Dorji brought this in human world. And what Garab Dorji received, brought what, how many? In the according teaching, 6,400,000 Dzogchen teachings. The Garab Dorji brought these teachings. That many. And he practiced, of course, he reached enlightenment. Garab Dorji is the first, according to teaching, first human teacher, human Dzogchen teacher. Teacher who brought openly Dzogchen teaching to this world. Then, as you, I think many of you know, but I just briefly, Garab Dorji gave this teaching to the Manjushri Mataras. Jambarakini received the entire teaching, or Manjushri Matara received the entire teaching, but he divided this, or he subgrouped whole Dzogchen teaching in 3 sections. And those are, we all heard so many times. Mind-to-mind transmission lineage, symbolic transmission lineage, and oral transmission lineage. Those teachings he gave. And Manjushri Mitra on Jambarakini, in Tibetan Jambarakini, in Sanskrit, the Manjushri Mitra gave this teaching to the entire Dzogchen teaching to Shirisanga. Shirisanga, great master Shirisanga, or in Tibet called Parjasanghi, Shirisanga. They gave the teaching this to Shirisanga. And Shirisanga, what Manjushri Matra, the mind section, space section, in the Pith instruction, he divided that 3, and that, particularly this 3rd section, Pith instruction section of the Dzogchen teaching, Shirisanga again grouped it 4 groups. 4 groups. Why they making more 4 groups? More simplifying, more easy, more simple, more direct, so we can catch. Because otherwise our knowledge and understanding is limited, and the time is limited, knowledge is limited, and therefore then these great masters are making more simpler, simplifying, so that we can utilize or we can use. That's what they're really giving the teaching. So Shirisanga, this particular 4th section, or this, Shirisanga, the 3rd one, the Pith instruction section, he divided 4, grouped 4. Outer section, inner section, secret section, and very core secret sections. 4 divisions. So now, what we are practicing is the core sections of the Pith instructions. Core sections of the Pith, essence of essence. That really we practices. And that then came to Tibet. Again, we talk, who brought these teachings to Tibet? 3 great masters, Guru Pema Sambhava, Bimal Mitra, and Vajrayana, Tibetan translator, Vajrayana. These 3 great masters brought entirely Dzogchen teaching to Tibet. Particularly this Pith instruction section teaching, who brought to Tibet by Guru Pema Sambhava and Bimal Mitras. And they shared that. So that is how continue. And that teaching continually, all those practitioners, many great masters, they really practice meditation, reaching enlightenment. And then we came to the great master Longchenpa, omniscient Longchenpa. Longchenpa again more kind of made essence, more clarification, so that we can follow, everyone can follow. So that the essence of the Guru Rinpoche teaching is known as the Khandro Nyingte. Essence of teachings of the Dzogchen teaching by Guru Pema Sambhava is Khandro Nyingte. Essence of teaching of the Pith instruction, the most Pith instruction sections of the Bhamal Mantra is Bhama Nyingte or Sama Nyingte. And then again add more clarification, more explanation of these two. One is known as the Khandro Nyingte and the Lama Yantek. Those are 4 Nyingte principles. And then he told the essence of all that together is a Sammo Nyingte. And the great master Lungchimba is renowned as like second Garab Dorje or Garab Dorje of Tibet. So that he is really one of the great masters, scholars, Mahasadas, enlightened beings, Tertungs, visionaries, and this is the master. And then lineage continually to until now. All those great masters just are filled with love, compassion, with common sense and wisdom, and respect and appreciation for all living beings. Really just, sorry. So that's how really this teaching is continued. This is now. And then Patrul Rinpoche, as I said, Patrul Rinpoche is a grand student of Jingmi Longpa. Jingmi Longpa's student is Dat Sama Tripchim. Dat Sama Tripchim's student is then Patrul Rinpoche. Of course, the Dat Sama Tripchim has many. Dat Sama Tripchim is is a regular name. The real name is Jingmi Jerum Yoga, which is given by the Jingmi Longpa tree, by Jingmi Jerum Yoga. So that's not what it is. So that's how generally this Dzogchen teaching continued. Now we go to this title, and here Pith instructions how to practice the meaning of the Dzogchen and perfection the ultimate natures. So that is really somehow we go this meaning. Of course, you already know this is not something that, but we go a little bit over on this meaning. Now I will go over a code Tibetan word here. Tibetan word. Those people who know the Tibetan, you can look to this too. It what said this Rangjin, Dzogwa Chimbo. So Rangjin means natural, ultimate nature, and the Dzogwa Chimbo is Dzogchen. Tung means meaning. Nyamso Lancer is how to practice. So that's the Tibetan word here, but of course in English we have the restructures. So therefore is like restructure to say is more kind of readable, more understandable in English language like that, but that's the Tibetans. So now Ramji means what? In here translated ultimate nature. Ultimate nature. So that means Ramji is ultimate nature what? Ultimate nature what? There is many things, many objects. Each of there is nature, can relate. What is the nature? Nature of the fire is hot. The nature of the water, moisture. Nature of the wind is moving. What is this nature? Nature, this time, referring to the ordinary nature of everything, all the subject and objects. There is no divisions, no difference. That nature is nobody fabricated. Is not compounded. Not fabricated, not compounded. Is here now and sometimes it goes away. No. This nature is the ordinary nature. This is known as, in the Buddha's teaching, general Buddha teaching, known as great emptiness or absolute truth. So this is what the absolute truth, the nature, exactly as it is. Nothing made up, or make up things. Where things are simple, direct, ordinary, common, where things are. That is nature. So that is nature. So what that referring to this now? This Dzogchen is nature. It's nothing any fancy or any kind of like something that is made by someone. It's natural. And for those, what in the teaching said, nature means nobody fabricated, as it is. That is nature. Nature. So that is the understanding of the meaning of a really of the nature. Now we go to the great perfections. Greater perfection, if I translate it here, in the Tibet, Dzogpa Khenpo. I'm going to try to explain this meaning where the great master First Chense explained. Great Chense explained. Great Chense explained this Dzogpa Khenpo. In the Tibetan word, Dzogpa Khenpo, in three different ways. Dzog is one meaning, Pa is one meaning, and Khenpo is one meaning. That's what the great master First Chense explained. What actually Dzog means, of course, many times it's translated in the English, perfection, perfected. But also, Dzog means what? In the Tibetan word, completeness. It's completeness. What is completed here? All things, everything is completed. What everything? Samsara is completed, Nirvana is completed, way to the Nirvana is completed. How? It provided free from all the aspects. What that means, aspect? Existing, non-existing, neither and either. If you know those 8 aspects by Great Master Nagarjuna mentioned, not coming, not going, is neither permanent nor not impermanent. That is not one single, is not many, plural. Is not one meaning, not many meaning. That those 8, or in simple say, existing, non-existing, neither and either. That is. The nature is, that is nature. This is not making kind of word tricks, tricking the word and using those things. Individually can validate it. This is not mythology, story of the fairy tales, or behind the mountain, or other side of the planet. It is our nature, your nature. And what the great some masters said, the more you're close to nature, our tongues will become shorter and shorter. More close to the nature. There's nothing to really explain. Even the physics, I don't think I can explain anything more. Maybe there's something there. The presumption maybe they can say. But what they found. Otherwise, I'm sure it's the internet and it's become the big announcement. But there is nothing. It's not something, nothing. That nothing is what great master Buddha said. When you found the nothing, that is a big pounding. Pointing. That is a big pointing. When you didn't see anything, that is a big seeing. Seeing. We duality conceptions always like to have something to hold. Hold, see, something to grab. But reality level, everything is completely beyond. Look to this universe, the world. It's shifting, changing. It's momentarily best. That momentary also, if you look, not that you cannot say anything. That is what great teacher Buddha said, and Nagarjuna said, all great masters exist, neither is not either existing, neither existing, non-existent, or existing, non-existent, neither either. This is a profound philosophy or discovery statement, or maybe modern time we can say, is a profound physics statement. It's true. Buddha and all those great masters, great thinker, great intellectual, great really analytics, nothing they found. So that is nature. So Dzogchen is that is Dzogchen. And what is that? Nature. So what is completed? What is completed? As I said, the samsara is completed, nirvana is completed, or completeness. And the path is completed. In the teaching of Prince said, Korn de lam sam. Korwa, nyangin and deba, lam. Lam means the path. So samsara is what we, in our conception, samsara is here. Now we are following path, so we make a bridge in a way. Then we reach nirvana. So we have that kind of conceptions. So here, everything is within this Dzogchen. And what that Dzogchen is, or what that Dzog is, according to great master person Chense, that Dzog, what is Dzog? All this Konde Lamsam, all the samsara, nirvana are completed. How they completed? This great master is not something that big, gigantic bag, B-A-G bag, and putting pots and pans and everything put inside. Kind of completed everything, completed. Not that. Everything is completed without the separation, without the distinctions of that nature and that. That what is inside, or what samsara. Samsara is in a Dzogchen. Nirvana is in a Dzogchen. And path is in a Dzogchen status. Everything. Everything. That is Dzogpa. Dzog, great master said. So everything is complete. So that means, the Dzog means everything complete. In this great, the nature, great emptiness status. Now, again, what great master person changes said, Pa means Dzogpa Chenpo in Tibet. This is the abbreviated Dzogchen. Pa. Pa means who is discovering that? That is our awareness. Awareness. Pa is Rupa. Rupa, which discover that exactly that nature as it is without subject and object. Our nature of the mind, or the Rupa, is discovering that innate nature of the completion. Complete without a distinction. So Rupa is Dzogchen. Rupa is Dzogchen. Our own innate Rupa. So that means, if I use this way, our samsara, each of our samsara is within the Rupa. Each of our nirvana is within the Rupa. Each is of our path, journey is in the Rupa. Rupa and samsara and nirvana are not separated. As I said earlier, the enlightenment is not outside. Enlightenment is within. Buddhahood is within, to discovering that. So that is what the great master person Chense mentioned. Pa, meaning. And then said Chenpo, in here too, Dzogchen. Chen means what? It's a very word. Great. Great. This is the person Chense mentioned. Chen means When you have the realization of this nature, when you have the realization of this nature, there's nothing higher than the realization anything. Nothing higher, nothing better, nothing bigger than this. This is the biggest realization, biggest discovery of this. Within this realization, the old path and the bhumis, enlightenment are all completed. Enlightenment all completed within this nature. Nature. There is nothing higher to go, nothing too deeper to discover, nothing more profound than this, that. Therefore it's called great. All the teachings of the Buddhas are completed here. 9 yanas, 84,000 teachings, all that is concluded within there. This is the ultimate discovery, this is the ultimate teaching, or this is the ultimate our nature. Nature. That is what the Dzogpa Chimbu. And then here, and then instruction or Pith instructions. Also, Pith instruction. Or in the Tibet, how to practice this. Now, this is the Dzogchen. Our Dzogchen is our own nature of the mind. Or it could simplify if I say nature of our own mind, or Rupa. If I use the Rupa, Rupa means nature of the mind, is the Dzogchen. Dzogchen, how to discover this explainer of this great master Patrul Rinpoche, how to explore, how to discover that meaning, or this Dzogchen. And this meaning means, this is the ultimate our meaning. There is nothing higher and better meaning than to discover our own Rupa, our own nature, our own Dzogchen. So it's explaining. And the explaining is, then is following is explaining. And the instructions, all that is following how to explore. Even though it is with us, but it's been a long time. We didn't really, we went away from the nature. We carried the force of our own duality displays that carried away so long time. According to gracious teacher Buddha Shakyamuni, for countless lifetimes, we carried by the force of our own creation of the dualities. Nobody else created in our Lord to us with our own creations. We carry that by that ripple or the waves that carried. And now we are returning back, and we are going to return back to release and kind of like not caught by those ripples. That's what how to practice it. And this practice it, and then follows with all the instructions that you already received so many teachings, and as well as we go to in next times. And the Dhamma is Dhamma means instructions. The Pith instructions. Pith instruction is then, again, what of course you all know this kind of similar Dhamma, but it is the Pith instruction, the big meaning which is discovered by the symbol techniques. Symbol techniques. So that is really known as the Pith instruction, and this Pith instruction is continued from the Buddha Shakyamuni, and then to Pema Sambhava, and then to now, and those are teachings that we often heard. You all know that through the lineages. According to Nyingma scholars of Tibetan Buddhism, and the masters of the Kama lineage, master of Terma lineage, all combined Kama and Terma lineages is continually until now. Now that we receive, you receive from so many great masters who hold those lineages, and that I also received those teachings, many great masters, and as well as from His Holiness Dongyal Rinpoche and so forth. And that I also sharing you or my knowledge, you can, in a way, we're discussing, we're following that a call to remind it to each others. It's not something that I'm talking something that you don't know. That your knowledge and wisdom, what you receive the teachings, maybe a little bit. Some of you kind of a little bit didn't remember clearly now, and I hope this will, what I'm talking will help us some degree to clarify, reactivate those knowledges, understand it, so that we can follow the practice. So that's what we're doing. So this is the instructions, and then I think we stop here a short time. Today we stop here. We do short meditation, and then we should do the short dedication. And then tomorrow, if we can organize. I like to do some those prayers, such as Line Fast and Dakini prayers, and as well as White Umbrella. We do even some mantras that if you can also organize. And then there is also some other practices. I don't remember title in English, and it is practices of the Pema mandalas, Pema family Buddhas. Practice a little bit. Great shower blessing, great shower blessing of the wife. So maybe we do those things every God, and then we can send you to those who are that. Okay. Thank you very much for the participation. Thank again, Trashi Delis, best wishes. But now we do the short meditation, and then we do the dedicated the merit. Thank you. Okay, now thank you. Now we dedicate the merit, short dedication prayer, and the page, if you have the page 27, and then
And if you have any electric version, we start with the prayer, a long life prayer of His Holiness Dalai Lama. Kare Rave Guruve Shankase Pindain Deva Malin Jungwe Ne Jire Zuwe Tenze Jansoye Shape Karje Bardo Denjuro Je On Sote Mendayendo Joksan Zasam Jigdi Pema Jo Yene Sonde Tuje Enterzenje Kenje Barne Jira Trubeko Kutse Dingen Zem Tarasin Yon Sote Etseverenze Beme Selavchi Etonie Drupe Alaksan Orden Je Bamjarati Sanjing Aten Sol Nam Jara Isho. By this merit may all obtain omniscience, may defeat the enemy wrongdoing. From the stormy waves of birth, the origin is sickness and death. From the ocean of the samsara, may I feel all things. May the souls and benefit the happiness of the Buddha's teachings remain for a long time. May the victory banner of the life, the noble ones, and the holders of the teachings remain firm. May all the sentient beings are always joyful. May the cease forward. And this is a moment for the members of the nations of earth. May not even the names of disease, human war, and suffering be heard, but rather may conduct the merit of wealth and prosperity increase, and may spring good fortune and well-being always arise. Precious Bodhi Chata and those who have made regenerated, those who have it made inhabited, are always continue increasing. In the connection to Shandara, Shakira Keda, Babum Pema Samba, Dhamma came to from them, increase and spread it throughout the freedom world. Millions of the jewels and minds from the beings remain inseparable and bring strong well-being throughout the three times. Deity, Mantra, Dhamma, Kaya, and the nature of the appearance has no awareness. The base of Kaya and universal display of the Buddha. Remain inseparable. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone participating. Thank you. Thank you very much for participation. And see you. Thank you. Tashidelas, best wishes. Thank you. Tashidelas. And I also thought to tell one thing that, of course, we all retreat. You can do really the practice together as much as with the virtue as we carry on this. So please keep the practices as a retreat setting if you can do. Keep the time schedules and the practices in the morning, evening, meditating, exactly kind of applying as much as we can really is wonderful. And then with a good heart and a good thought, I think it's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.